This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Stick around to the end of this video for a word from today's sponsor, Sheath Underwear. You won't be disappointed. I struggled with how to start talking about this topic. We're in a dangerous situation in America. We are in a situation where the Republican Party, elected Republicans in this country, are now really being outed as active agents, disseminators of Russian intelligence disinformation. They are acting as emissaries of Vladimir Putin. For years, they have been disseminating Russian intelligence disinformation. They initiated an impeachment proceeding against President Biden. Sitting members of Congress initiated the removal of a president based on information fed to them by Vladimir Putin's intelligence services. That's what we're learning. I have in my hands a 28-page government's memorandum in support of detention of Alexander Smirnov, the FBI informant that now we're learning through this memorandum for not letting him out of jail. We're learning that he was being fed information by Russian intelligence to damage the campaign of the sitting president of the United States in his re-election bid. There's more dangerous things are in here than you can even imagine, even related to the 2024 election and how they have compromised based on recordings that they made in a hotel of elected officials in the United States. Likely Republicans, because of the fact that that's who takes the trips there and loves to cozy and sidle up to Donald Trump and show their allegiance. James Comer, Jim Jordan, and the rest of these idiots should resign. They must resign. They're not acting in the interest of the United States. They're acting in the interest of Donald Trump at the behest of Vladimir Putin. Not a conspiracy. It's in an indictment by a Republican-appointed prosecutor who, for some reason, Merrick Garland saw fit to put on this case. And now it really is kind of unindictable, colloquially speaking, because this is one of Trump's guys who is saying this. I mean, Ted Cruz for months and months and months and months has been using this particular bit of information from this particular Russian asset to promote his podcast. I'm going to read. Listen, there's a link below. At the bottom of the description, there's a link to this indictment for you to read. It's only 28 pages, easy to read. But there's three sections I want to read from. Here's pages 5 and 6. The same day, Smirnov was arrested in the District of Nevada as he returned to the United States on an international flight. Smirnov was scheduled to leave the United States 2 days later on February 16, 2024, for a months-long multi-country trip that, by his own description, involved meeting with officials of foreign intelligence agencies and governments. During his custodial interview on February 14th, Smirnov admitted that officials associated with Russian intelligence were involved in passing a story about business person one, which is one of the Bidens, either Hunter, I believe it's Hunter, or Joe Biden's brother. All this to damage Joe Biden, to give lies that are unsubstantiated. And this is the thing, this is the question that's being asked here by many, which is a decent question, is, well, how can we trust that this is true if all the other things he was saying was lies? Well, the reason we know that is because we have the power of the investigatory methods of the FBI and the DOJ. They looked into certain things, asked for proof of certain things. Where are your flight receipts that you went here, your call records that you called this person? None of the other stuff added up. I'm positive they've done their due diligence here that these things are correct. That was page 5 and 6. Here's page 24. Thus, Smirnov's efforts to spread misinformation about a candidate of one of the two major parties in the United States continues. The court should consider this conduct as well as evaluating his personal history and characteristics. What this shows is that the misinformation he is spreading is not confined to 2020. He is actively peddling new lies that could impact U.S. elections after meeting with Russian intelligence officials in November. In light of that fact, there was a serious risk he would flee in order to avoid accountability for his actions. He's actively meeting with FSB agents. He's actively meeting with the Russian equivalent of the CIA to spread disinformation and misinformation and lies and propaganda at the service of Russia, to further the interests of Russia and Vladimir Putin. And who does he have in his corner? Who does he have running interference for him? James Comer, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy, Mike Johnson, Donald Trump. Pages 16 and 17, even more alarming. This is about the compromise and the recordings that they may have. During this same trip, Smirnov apparently attended a separate meeting with a Russian official number one, the individual who controls groups that are engaged in overseas assassination efforts. James Comer, Jim Jordan are emissaries of an individual who is contacting Russian assassins. During this meeting with Russian official one claimed that another individual, Russian official 4, the head of a particular unit of Russian intelligence service, ran an intelligence operation at a quote-unquote club located at a particular hotel. Smirnov told the FBI handler that the Russian intelligence service intercepted cell phone calls made by guests at the hotel. The Russian intelligence service intercepted several calls placed by prominent U.S. persons the Russian government may use as compromat in the 2024 election, depending on who the candidates will be. What do you think they have to say about this? Their initiation of an impeachment, that Vladimir Putin is once again up to his neck in interfering in our democracy. And this time, he has even more help from Republicans because they know they can't win on the merit of their ideas. They cannot win on the ideologies that they put forward. So what do? They have to rely on foreign interference. They have to rely on voter suppression. They have to rely on lies and propaganda. And this is where we are. And we have a choice in 2024. There will be more lies to come. There will be more distractions to come. There will be more disinformation and misinformation and propaganda and items in the interest of Russia that'll be pushed by Republicans. But we have to stay the course. We need to save our democracy. There would be nothing more that would please Vladimir Putin and the nation of Russia, maybe not its people, but certainly the cogs in the machine, to end American democracy. It could topple more countries around the world that it borders far more easy without us on the scene. And that would cause Donald Trump and his bootlicking sycophants nothing but joy. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. If you want to help support this work, click that join button, become a channel member for $2 a month. Go over to my Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Follow me on social media. I'm everywhere at Dollemore, and I would love to see you there. Now, for the question everybody has been asking this entire time while I've been talking, is what kind of underwear does that guy have on? Well, spoiler alert, they are sheath. And here is a great offer from them to you right now. We are once again faced with a pivotal year. And while we don't have control over everything, we as individuals can affect real change. Am I talking about voting? Sure, of course I am. But I'm also obviously talking about underwear. In a world so rich with options, why would we ever settle for second-rate skivvies? My 2024 pick for Department of the Interior is Sheath underwear. Sheath is the only underwear with a dual pouch system scientifically designed to keep your president separated from his cabinet. If you catch my drift. Come on, man. Invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq, the idea from Sheath arose from discomfort in harsh environments. As a former Marine stationed in that part of the world, I get the inspiration. I wear sheaths every day. They're the only boxers that can agreeably accommodate my tree trunk thighs while also keeping my jewels carefully compartmentalized. While I'm not the only person choosing them, sheaths are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. It's time to democratize your drawers. Head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore right now and score 20% off right away. I personally am an airflow mesh guy, but Sheath has tons of excellent styles and designs. And once you pick, Sheath will land them on your doorstep near instantly thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. Additionally, your purchase actually does affect positive change. Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders, so you're making positive choices for the world too. Upgrade your undergarments. Score 20% off right now when you head to sheathunderwear.com/Dollemore. Real change starts with you and your package.